Hello. Hi. Sorry, I'm still, it's my second live. So, am I showing? Do you guys see me yet? Hello. Oh, wait. Yes. Okay, cool. It's working. Awesome. Hi. Hi. Sorry, I'm still, it's my second cool. Live. Sorry, it's taking me a little bit to set up. Showing? Do you guys see me yet? Hello. Okay, awesome. All right. Welcome to February 1st, you guys. Wow. Yes, okay, cool. It's working. Awesome. Okay, cool. Awesome. Glad it's working. I'm so new here. I'm still learning OBS and stuff. So, February 1st, I want to talk about this day today. Ultimately, it is, let's see if I can pull this up. It is February 1st, you guys. Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day. Did you guys know this? I'm pulling up pavesurvivors.org. They put out this graphic today for Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day. So I did just want to. Oh, I heard an echo. It's delayed. Okay, hold on. Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day. Yeah, something with the sound. I'm pulling up pavesurvivors.org. They put out this graphic today for Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day. So I did with me one moment. Oh, I heard an echo. There is delayed. A delay. Hold on. Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day. But the echo. I'm pulling up pavesurvivors.org. They put out this graphic today for conservatorship. Maybe another tab is open. Oh. With me one moment. You're right. I was just watching the Eat Predators live. So maybe, let me see something. I apologize. This is what's been taking me a while. Oh, I think it's myself. It's my own YouTube channel. Okay, hold on. Maybe another. Okay, is this better? You guys don't hear the echo anymore, right? I'm just reading your guys' comment. I'm going in the Discord. Okay, well, I think this is working. Okay, it's working. All right, cool. It was me. I had my YouTube thing open, but I changed the speaker, so I can't hear it. This has been the hurdle for me with going live on YouTube, is that I am just learning OBS and learning how the sound integrates and how the mic integrates and the visuals. So, okay, I'm so glad it's working now. I wasn't sure, so I'm happy that you guys helped me figure it out. So I did want to talk about today. Today is February 1st. I think it's pretty cool that we're talking about a conservatorship hearing that just happened where the temporary conservatorship was denied, which I think is such a win considering today is Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day. So it just makes my activist heart happy because, you know, we've been fighting for this cause for a long time. People before us have been fighting for this cause. Britney Spears stepping into the spotlight really did create so much change. Let's see, I'm still like learning everything. Okay, here we go. So this is a graphic that Pave made for Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day, and I just wanted to go through it. I'm grateful that today we have good news for Elijah Blue's conservatorship case that happened on Monday. I'm gonna actually add your guys' chat over here. I'm still learning this whole process, so Okay, cool. What does it mean the conservatorship won't happen? Okay, yeah, I will get into that. I can tell you guys though. Basically, the temporary conservatorship was denied. So there is still a case coming for whether or not the official conservatorship would be denied, which, it's looking like it will be denied. Obviously, that's my opinion. But the temporary conservatorship is something that they try to put in place and like emphasize this urgency. In Elijah Blue's case, they were emphasizing, oh, hi, BJ, love you. I love her. If you guys want to know more about Elijah's case, definitely, I'm sure you guys already watched That's Prize Witness. I'm sure she sent you here. So yes, the temporary conservatorship was denied. In Elijah's case, the urgency that they were trying to say was more so about like the distributions, because this is a conservatorship, a probate conservatorship, a conservatorship of the estate, which, is different than of the person. It just has to do with the money involved. And Elijah was getting a distribution from his father, Greg Allman, of the Allman Brothers Trust. And they were concerned about him having money to that, and somehow talking about how his addiction would, get in the way of how he was able to handle his own assets that, his father left him. And actually, also about today, February 1st, is that it did come out in court that Elijah is getting the next distribution from the trust today. So today is a really cool day. We have Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day, and we have the next distribution for Elijah to get for his assets. And basically, even for the last distribution, he made it really clear in court that he actually spent that money responsibly. He paid his lawyer, he paid his phone bill, he paid the storage unit. And I did even peep his Instagram today, because on Instagram it was announced that he is releasing new music, and that will be coming out next week. And when I kind of went through the comments, I could tell that people were upset about some vinyl that wasn't pre-released. So even him making these steps to release this new music and getting this distribution and using it responsibly, it seems very redeemable. And I'm very excited for him to have this journey in terms of his sobriety and his music coming back and his freedom. And, as a Britney Army member, as a Britney nerd, today being Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day, it really just does hit home. A lot of people believe that if it wasn't for Britney Spears and the spotlight that was on her conservatorship, that this temporary conservatorship wouldn't have been denied, because, in Britney's case, it wasn't denied. And being in that situation in that courthouse was really surreal for me, because, I wish that we could have done that for Britney so early on. I wish that we were there and we fought for her in that way. And it's because of her bravery that we are able to see change in the system. So thank you guys. You guys are complimenting me. Thank you. I put my hair in pigtails. I know I have my little browser earrings on, to celebrate my tech era of YouTube. So thank you for joining my YouTube here and following my court updates. I really appreciate it. This is my first time kind of bringing it over to YouTube, so I do want to kind of bring over my earlier Britney court hearings over here as well, but all in due time. Yeah, so glad Melanie and Christina and others were in court. Absolutely. Christina came to court as well. And we've had more people showing up to Elijah's case, really because of BJ, because of her coverage. And it's really amazing. She is such an ally and such an advocate, and I commend her so much. And I'm so grateful to just be able to be here and go to the court hearing and kind of pass on that information to people who have bigger platforms for them to share it, and we can work together as a community to make sure these types of things don't happen. Oh, you guys are so nice to me. I have I learned how to do the pop out chat from YouTube thanks to Quiet, who's my moderator in here, and your Predator's moderator. Thank you. And so now I keep looking at your guys' chats, and I want to hang out with you. So you guys are so nice. I hope you guys are having a great day and you guys are literally changing the world. We do this together. We do this collectively. So I'm just so excited to be a part of this community and for all of you guys to join in. I always get a little nervous before these. Obviously, it's only my second. So yes, thank you so much for the support. I did want to kind of go through some of my hearing notes. I thought you guys would appreciate. I put in these little bookmarks. Here, I'll show you. I put they're basically the postcards that I made. So I'll show you. I just flagged it for today. So these are my Elijah notes, or all my court hearing notes, but I have my Justice for Brittany postcard. And that's kind of like how I got started, more so than the protest, was making these postcards and getting them signed and sending them to the governor or the attorney general. And I want to do this again for Brittany and, you know, anyone else that we think need that sort of, you know, attention on their case. So, yeah, I am going to do this again. Someone actually just donated for me to get more stamps to send them in. So I do appreciate that. But basically, and then this one is for the other court. That's marking my 1-5 hearing. And then this one for 129. Oops, I dropped it. You guys might like this one. It says, investigate Lou Taylor. Which, this is a good week for us because the depositions were set to happen on the 29th and 30th. And then on the 29th, we had Elijah Allman's conservatorship hearing, and, you know, his temporary conservatorship was denied. So, like, we literally have a good week. We never usually get good weeks in the Britney movement, like, from the past. Like, it's been really hard, but, you know, since she's gotten free, like, we have had little wins. But this deposition was something that's been bugging us all. When are they going to get to post? They kept dodging it. So, you know, this January 29th and 30th has been really cool. I mean, Sloppy, James Pierce's lawyer, did file a bunch of sloppy docs recently, and he's annoying and repetitive, but I'll get into that another time. Let's celebrate the wins right now. So basically, yes, investigate Lou Taylor. Fuck yeah. Oop, sorry, I don't know the rules on YouTube. But let's see. We can go through this case. Something I did think was really interesting I saw it on BJ's story and then I looked it up, was this news headline. This news headline. Like, let's read this. Cher gets emotional in court as lawyer says singer believes son Elijah Blue Allman would not be alive within the year, which was really triggering. And I'll be honest, like, sometimes I struggle to report on things because I worry about just the sensitive information, you know? But I will say that I was there, and when Cher did come up on the Court Connect, the live stream, and she kept a straight face the entire time. Like, she was very like I did not, like, gets emotional. Like, I don't know if I, like, looked down at my notes for 2 seconds and she, like, wiped an eye, like, did, like, one of the Jamie Lynn, like, tear white. Like, I don't know. I didn't see it. And Christina was there, too, and Christina didn't see it. She looked, like, really straight-faced the whole time. So what these People magazine is referring to is, like, beyond me. Like, I'm not surprised by this headline considering the last time. Wait, am I freezing? Okay. Sorry, I felt like I was freezing. Yeah, considering the last time they were like, Elijah Blue, missing. Like, no, he's not missing. I literally was just outside the Stanley Moss courthouse talking to him. Like, how are you going to say that he's missing? And then now this one today comes up that she got emotional. And there's a lot of headlines like this, that she got vulnerable or she got emotional. This woman was just sitting there staring straight into the live stream. Like, I did not see any emotion on her face. I was really glad. I saw a lot of emotion on Elijah's face. Like, he seemed really sad. Every time, even after, like, but, you know, vulnerable. I mean, the judge said, like, she doesn't doubt Cher's motives, but basically there wasn't enough sufficient evidence for them to be putting him in a conservatorship of the estate. So I will go through my notes with you. I did just want to read that headline. Yeah, the fake news. I know. Christina, did you see a tear? No one saw the tear. Like, I'm making that up. Like, I'm making up. Like, maybe there was like a JL moment when I like looked down, but like, no, no, no. Like, with my eyes, like, she was literally just standing there like this. Like, I mean, she was sitting down, and she was just like very still, like looking right at the camera. Like, I mean, it was on Live Court Connect. She was pretty big. I was sitting maybe like one seat behind like the press. So I don't know what they saw that I didn't see, but it was not this. I did not see her get emotional. I did not see her get vulnerable. It was very like, she barely spoke. I think she spoke like a little bit at the beginning. So it's just so beyond like these news reports. Like that's what keeps me going to go to the courthouse. Like I've seen it so much with Britney's case. Like we all knew that there was fake news, but then when you really start following like current events and you're like in the courtroom and then you see what the news puts out, you're like, oh my God, this is even worse than I thought. Or like, I don't know, I guess I always thought it was bad, but when you see it so specifically with such specific examples, it really is shocking. I don't know why. I should be used to it by now, but every time I'm just shocked by headlines like this. So, lyrics listening on the same screen. No tears, just a stone face. Literally, thank you. Silly Pony was there, sitting next to me. I feel like I have it written in my notes. Like she was just straight faced the whole time. Like I might have even told you guys outside the courthouse. Like I was surprised by this. And of course, it came out today, right? This came out today, and today is the day that Elijah Blue is due for his second distribution from the trust. It is so shocking and disappointing. Stone face. sorry. Stone face. You know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so let's see. I will go through and read my notes. Okay, I'm such a noob with this stuff. Okay. So, yes, 129. Basically, John Guy was there remotely, who was the court appointed lawyer, who was also let go, right? Like Elijah got to choose his own lawyers instead. And then Cher came on the screen on the Court Connect through live stream as the petitioner, which was really interesting to see. I'm glad that she had to witness this personally as Elijah has to. I was glad to see her join. I did see like kind of next to her, there was like a blonde person. Like I just saw like long blonde hair, but they kind of like stepped off the screen. I don't know who that is. I'm just telling you what I saw. So basically, Loeb and Loeb was there for Cher, and then Cage and Miles. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's Elijah Blue's chosen legal team. So they were there, and then I guess they just immediately started talking about the distribution, since that's what this is about, money. And then that's when Elijah's lawyers really did say like that he received the distribution and the responsible moves that he was making with it, which was like, paying the lawyers, paying his phone bill, paying his storage unit. So I wrote that down. And then there was concern about when the next distribution would happen. They were talking about it, whether like what the next quarter distribution would happen if these distributions happen quarterly. And then it said like, okay, the trustee has discretion, concerned that the quarter will come in March. So they're concerned about Elijah getting more money before they're able to have this next court hearing in March, which is for the actual conservatorship, where this one was a temporary conservatorship, like an urgent conservatorship. Like, this is so urgent, we need to do this right now. And that's what the temporary conservatorship was, and it was denied. We'll get into it. Maybe it was Jennifer Ruiz, the blonde. So I tried to look up Jennifer Ruiz because I heard that was her assistant, but I couldn't find like a current photo or long blonde hair. I'm open to it being her because I don't know, but I heard she's blonde. Is she blonde? Let's see. Oh, I love you, BJ. There is an urgent need for the storage unit to be paid because it has some of his father's memorabilia from the Allman brothers. Okay, good point, Christina. So he did get that paid. So I'm glad that that was paid and that he was able to secure. Elijah's whole list of things to do stressed me out. Good for him. It's a pain to have to write 10 emails to get a bill paid. Literally. I know. I'm struggling and I mean, I know I'm good. But what I mean is we all struggle, and I couldn't imagine what he's been going through with this amount of stress on him. But let's see. Okay, so then they did say February 1st is the next distribution. So that is today on Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day. He got his distribution. Wonderful. And then I wrote down today through March 6th, another distribution. So I don't know exactly how many distributions there are. They were talking about it being quarterly. I don't know if that was actually confirmed. Okay, so now they address the temporary conservatorship, and immediately the judge is like, the request is denied. And I just want to say, this isn't Brenda Penny in the courtroom. I really was thinking initially when I went there that Brenda Penny would be there the first time, and then it was passed on to this other judge. But a lot of the filings are still with Brenda, so that just kind of confuses me. But I guess that's a system that happens all the time with judges. However, I do think it's suspicious that Judge Brenda Penny, who was Britney Spears' judge in her conservatorship, didn't want to appear publicly, because I did hear that she doesn't like appearing publicly for Britney's case either anymore, obviously, since she passed it on to Luna. So, interesting. But this new judge seems competent, kind, articulates her words well. So I've been obviously very pleased with her rulings. Her tentative ruling, which is the first ruling they do, and then both parties get the chance to speak to it, was denied. This temporary conservatorship is denied, and she said there was no sufficient evidence, and she said there was no capacity declaration, which is so great to hear as a Britney nerd, B-Army activist, that there was no capacity declaration, because Britney Spears didn't have that capacity declaration either, and I wish that somebody said that during her temporary conservatorship. But, unfortunately, Britney Spears is the one who had to get out of this conservatorship herself and find a way and to, change the world, basically. That's what Britney did. And I really do believe that it's because of her case that we were able to have this type of ruling now. So then they talk about the doctors. So this is Loeb and Loeb talking now. They're saying that there is a working diagnosis of bipolar disorder and that there were concerns over Elijah's decisions with his assets. I think that this is, sorry, I didn't fully write this. This might have actually been just notes of me taking from the judge speaking. Just maybe saying there's a working diagnosis and there are concerns over decisions with assets, but not lack of capacity. Managed income and expenses and remained drug-free and rented an apartment. So yeah, I think that this is, my notes are a little messy, so bear with me, but these are just what I have written down. But basically what they were saying was he does not lack the capacity. He literally has been managing his income by paying off those things that he needed to pay off, and that he's remained drug-free and was able to rent an apartment. I believe that that's what the, yes, I believe that that is what the judge was saying. So then, sorry, I got that a little mixed up. So that's what the judge was saying. And then Loeb and Loeb came in. And Loeb and Loeb is he's had a history of drug addiction. And they say, Cher applauds his sobriety. And then they say Dr. Flowers was treating for schizo disorder and was disrupted. So I don't know the background with that. I don't know why he was disrupted, or if that's what was happening in that weird facility that I heard allegedly he got locked up in against his will. Is that doctor from there? Was the disruption that he got free? I don't know. I don't know the details. I have to rewatch BJ's channel and dig more, but I'm just writing down what I heard in the courtroom, and they were talking about this Dr. Flowers. And this is Loeb and Loeb, Cher's lawyers, arguing against the, ruling from the judge. So basically, the Loeb and Loeb lawyers say, oh, well, he's had periods of being sober and clean, and he developed psychosis and would self-medicate. And then they said that his current doctor is not a medical doctor, and that people around Elijah are denying this type of like developed psychosis, and so that's like not good for him. Like that's what they're saying. And then they're saying, oh, he has this issue of mental illness, and it makes him vulnerable, and it could potentially lead to drug use, is what they're saying. And they talk about that he had a psychotic episode in September. I feel really like weird talking about these things, obviously like trigger warning. And this is just like what Loeb and Loeb said. I do not know, I don't trust a lot of the lawyers just from what I've seen in Britney's case. I've seen sloppy James Spears' lawyer lie right in court. So, but this is what was said. Basically, he said that there was like 5150 holds, which is very, reminiscent of Britney's case. And let's see what this says. Cher doesn't want to control him. Oh, yeah. So they're saying Cher doesn't want to control him. That even if Cher isn't like gonna be the conservatorship, that she could put like a private professional fiduciary company in control of the probate conservatorship. So like she's like, it's not really Cher that wants to control him, it's literally like we would get like professionals to come in, which they're literally monetize, like they're monetarily incentivized, these professionals. So I don't, it just doesn't make it better for me. Obviously I'm against conservatorships altogether, and I'm an abolitionist. Let's see, I'm just gonna read some of these comments. That's what they're working on. Yeah, I heard about the prison in Mexico. I don't know. I have to dig more into that. Okay, so let's see. So they're saying, oh, well, we could put someone professional in to cover the probate estate instead of Cher. Like it's not about Cher controlling him. That was their argument. So then they say Dr. Samuels has not treated Elijah during periods of psychosis. So this really kind of like annoyed me, because they were kind of saying that like, oh, well, his doctor never treated him during periods of psychosis, so he's not qualified. And it's like, it's like that didn't exist. Like if that doesn't exist and then he never treated him for psychosis, like how is that an argument? Like I don't know if that makes sense the way I'm explaining it, but that really just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, oh, because he's never treated him for this thing and we say this thing is real, that's grounds for the probate conservatorship. Like it was, to me, that's so like using something that doesn't exist to prove your point. Like it was a mess for me. So basically, let's see. So then it was a mess for the judge too, in my opinion, because she's not persuaded. She's like, she says, I don't question Cher's motivation in terms of like her caring for her son. And she goes, I understand that there's overlapping issues with drugs and mental illness. And then she says, let's see, my handwriting's a little sloppy. It says, his paperwork shows acknowledgement. Okay, yeah. So this was a big deal, I believe, for the judge, where she's like, in Elijah's paperwork, he's not saying I haven't struggled with these things. He acknowledges these things. So to the judge, that was significant. And the judge says that Dr. Flower's fears are not evidence. So just having that you're scared that these things could happen is not sufficient evidence. And she says there is no evidence. And then she said that the 5150 holds were not basis for conservatorship. And then she said maybe basis for an LPS conservatorship, but this is a probate conservatorship. So obviously that is really annoying to hear. We don't want any conservatorship. But that is what she's saying. She's saying even for this argument, which is like a financial argument, it's about his estate. It's a probate conservatorship. That's not even evidence to take away somebody's estate and control their estate. And she says the temporary conservatorship is denied. And then she goes on to talk about the March 6th hearing, which is when they will again petition for the conservatorship. And she says that this is not an evidentiary hearing. It's not a trial. And let's see what else my notes say. Voluntary mediation I have written down here. Mr. Guy wants fees. They all want fees. Mr. Guy barely even worked. Did he even work? Who appointed him? If the court appoints you a lawyer, does then the person who's literally having to like defend their own human rights because they run the risk of being a conservatee, are they then responsible for paying the court appointed lawyer? Like, that's just so weird for me. Like, did Elijah ever actually hire this person that now Mr. Guy wants these fees? So bizarre. Especially, you know, I'm a little traumatized from all the lawyer fees in Brittany's case that they're still wanting. So yeah, Mr. Guy wants his fees too. So let's see. So then Elijah's lawyers object to Mr. Guy's fees. And they say that this is that there was a conflict of interest that Mr. Guy brought up. Mr. Guy did say in the other hearing, in the first one, that there was a conflict of interest, and that's why he like shouldn't represent Elijah. Which we never got to hear what that conflict of interest was. And then Elijah's lawyer did bring that up. He said he shouldn't have taken the assignment if he knew that there was a conflict of interest, and the report should be stricken. And then like he kind of said something about like, oh, even the judge agreed about not understanding the conflict of interest, and the judge was like, I didn't actually inquire about the conflict of interest. And then, you know, Elijah's lawyers was like, well, there was a curiosity, and the judge basically was like, yeah, I can understand that, like, thanks for the clarity. And she says to John Guy, would you like to respond? You can respond in writing, in terms of trying to argue about why he is entitled to his fees. And John Guy said he would write something up responding to this. I am really curious about the conflict of interest. Like, what is it? I don't know, but I agree with Elijah's lawyers that if he knew that there was a conflict of interest, he shouldn't have taken the assignment. I don't understand why Elijah would have to pay those fees. Okay, so then he said he'll submit something in writing, and then they have to basically submit it by February 13th. And, you know, by February, like a couple weeks later, something like that, that's when Elijah's lawyers have to respond. So that's just about the fees. And then Loeb and Loeb, they did bring up like this, like something about like the ex parte, which I didn't, I have written down, so I'd have to kind of dive into that. But that was the extent of it. It was pretty short of a hearing. The judge basically wasn't having it and was like, yeah, this is denied. I can't imagine there being much grounds for a full conservatorship coming in March, but obviously we will go and we will report on it and like basically rally in favor of freedom. So I'm gonna read some of your comments now. Let's see. Christina, who was there, she's saying if they're talking about fiduciaries, wouldn't the fiduciary have to be out of the state of Georgia? So that's interesting, because the trust is in Georgia. Wouldn't the fiduciaries have to be out of the state of Georgia? That's a good question. And then Steve said, how can California tell a trust in Georgia how to handle the trust? Well, they're trying to, I guess. But they can't right now, considering Elijah did get his distributions. We already knew about recent 5150s holds. I don't think I knew that. I didn't know that. Some of y'all have been following the case closer than me. That's Bryce Witness. So I didn't know about this, and I was kind of curious about that police footage. You know, like I know BJ has gotten the police cam footage from BAM's 5150s and things like that, where they were attempting to put him in a 5150. I believe that was the circumstance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was curious. Apparently there was several 5150s that had happened last year that were brought up in court. So yeah, I didn't know about that either. Who is Dr. Flowers? Is he a licensed U.S. doctor or from Mexico? I don't know. That's what I was curious about. Who is Dr. Flowers? It's called subject matter jurisdiction for the trust, and personal jurisdiction would be California. Case law Marshall versus Smith. Anna Nicole. Okay, thanks for that, Christina. Christina's awesome. She's been going to these court hearings with me and, following this case even closer. So I do appreciate her chiming in. Let's see. That's what I'm saying. John Guy sounded like more work for Elijah and more emails to write. Yeah. Brenda should foot the bill. I agree. Brenda Penny should just be paying for this. She could pay for the lawyers in Brittany's case too. Good info on the lack of emotion from Cher. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah. Just reading that. So, there wasn't that many details that came out necessarily, but I try to respect people's privacy as well. Like, it's a little triggering sometimes dealing with, I couldn't imagine how Elijah felt in court when they're bringing up these previous, psychotic episodes or just commenting on his mental health. Like, even that alone was like triggering me. Just everything that I've witnessed with Brittany's case as well, how they use that against you, and even using the media against you. So that's why we try to report on the truth and expose these other media outlets that have strange headlines that don't make sense, that don't add up. So also I did see that Elijah released music. I did want to drop that in so you guys can all pre-save the song and support Elijah. He's been doing a lot of work to getting everything back in order. Is this getting sent? I don't know if my link is working actually. I think I shared it on my Instagram. Let me try to share it here. Oops. Bear with me. I don't know if you guys have been streaming Liar by Britney Spears today, but I have been playing it over and over and over again. Oh my God. I came from the Eat Predators live earlier, and she opened up that live, Alexa Nicholas opened up that live talking about the Justin Timberlake comment that he made last night. And it's just like, when will these people learn? Okay, I'm just trying to find this link. Okay, let me try it here. I don't know why it won't let me share it in the chat. It might just be too long. Well, if someone wants to pull up the DistroKid link for Elijah Blue's new song with Dead Z and share it in the chat, I'd appreciate that. I can definitely link it in the live stream anyway. I don't know why it's not letting me add it. I never heard Liar before. It's such a good song. Yeah, in honor of Conservatorship Abuse Awareness Day, we can stream Liar by Britney Spears. Let's go through that though. Let's pull this up. Okay. All right, conservatorship abuse awareness. So let's just read through this. So just to cover the basics, conservatorship, a court order that appoints someone to oversee the affairs of a minor or a person who is incapacitated, or it should be someone who's incapacitated. We don't always see those capacity declarations, do we? The court's first choice for conservator is an immediate family member rather than a trained neutral party. So this is just kind of explaining the overall. So Individuals may petition for a conservatorship because they are told it is the best way for them to protect their loved one. In reality, a conservatorship does not put the power in the hands of a trusted loved one. The ultimate power is in the hands of the court. Conservatorship hearings are generally very brief, often don't include the person with the disability whose rights are being taken away. Don't establish who will be the conservator should something happen to the loved one. Rarely involve disagreement or a lawyer standing up to ensure that the least restrictive alternative is being considered. So I find this interesting because, we did talk to Matt Rosengard, not this hearing, but the hearing before, about Elijah Blue's conservatorship. And he made a comment saying that he thinks, people are in Cher's ear. And, I find that very interesting considering we know about the beginning of Britney Spears' conservatorship and how allegedly Lou Taylor was the one who was in James Spears' ear. So, for Matt to make that connection, I found it interesting. I don't think that people realize that once you kind of take the power away from somebody and put it in the hands of these lawyers and in the court, that it can get so out of control. Obviously, we know now from Britney's case. And here they're saying that this can lead to domestic abuse. Unfortunately, family members do not always have our best interests in mind and may use it as an opportunity to partake in financial abuse. Even trained neutral parties are not always neutral. Some individuals are concerned by the Department of Developmental Disability or their regional centers, which can cause a conflict of interest since these agencies are also the deciders of how many services the person receives. Conservatorships treat conservatees as a second-class citizen. Conservators are able to make the final decisions on finances, who they can spend their time with, their romantic relationships, whether or not they can have sex, whether or not they can marry, what health care they receive, where they live. Obviously, there are different types of conservatorships. And they're not always placing these people in the right types of conservatorship. So here we have former congressman saying the typical conservatee has fewer rights than the typical convicted felon. It is the most punitive civil penalty that can be levied against an American. And then, of course, we have our queen, Britney Spears. There was no way to behave like an adult since they wouldn't treat me like an adult. So I would regress and act like a little girl. But then my adult self would step back in. Only my world didn't allow me to be an adult. The woman in me was pushed down for a long time. I felt like I was being deprived of those good secrets of life, those fundamental supposed sins of indulgence and adventure that make us human. They wanted to take away that specialness and keep everything as rote as possible. Britney Spears on her conservatorship. So I just wanted to read you guys that. I thought it was a powerful post by Pave. You could follow Pave. Pave does a lot of work with survivors. I am aware of them because of Eat Predators. So they're doing amazing work now to get the word out about conservatorship abuse. And I appreciate everybody following along. Slides of conflict gross would make sense. Yep, totally agree with Matt. I think it's weird Cher was there saying she wanted to have ice cream in San Tropez and she knew what she was going through. I agree with Rosengard. I think they want to get a hold and control over him before Cher passes and gives him her estate. Wow. I didn't think of that. Wow. That's a whole other layer to consider and very valid. That's the link to Elijah's band's new track. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, it was Morgana who brought it to my attention. Wait, let me see if I can find the link and reshare it. I'm scrolling up. Let's see. Well, I don't see the link, but I will share it in the YouTube description. I thought about reading some of like the filings from Britney. It was really from James Spears' lawyer that came through yesterday. If you guys want me to read that, I can do that another time. I will say tomorrow I am going to Stanley Moss Courthouse. Britney Spears does have another hearing, so look for my live after the hearing tomorrow. I will keep my eyes on this probate court and let them know that we are watching them. I represent just all of you, all of us as a collective. So we're all in this together, and all of our community and supporting each other really makes such a big difference. So be kind to each other. Love each other. Like, like this is a community-led movement. So I just appreciate you guys all so much. This is a whole lot of nothing, but I think Cher set up a trust that might be irrevocable. And there's more to grab than this almond trust. That's interesting. Like and share this video. Thank you. Yes, like and share my video. I feel like such a YouTuber when I say that now. Like I've also got BJ's mug. Okay, bye. Take a sip. That tea. Let's see. JT should have had grace after Britney showed support. Literally, what? Like I don't want to like be like go to, because I was like trying to make this about Elijah's case, but like what? Like I pulled up all those videos and I was like thinking we could go over them, but I don't know how the audio works yet, so another time. But yeah, JT, is he kidding me? I don't know. For those of you who don't know, last night he had a show in New York City and said he doesn't apologize to anyone. Maybe you should. So in response, B Army is streaming Liar by Britney Spears today over and over and over again. I'd play it here, but I don't want to get copyright stricken. Still learning the rules here. Read the file tomorrow after the follow-up news. Smart, Steve. Yeah, I could do that. I don't like amplifying Sloppy's arguments. They're honestly the same arguments he makes all the time. He's just repetitive and files the same motions over and over again. And it's just like an intimidation tactic, but we're not intimidated. Like okay, bye. Like, it's not working. Let's see. Yep. So I feel like that kind of covers it. I'll go to the Stanley Moss Courthouse tomorrow. Brittany's hearing is tomorrow at 1:30, and I will be there, and then I'll go live after or the next day. I'm still working out my schedule, so just tune in, turn on like the notifications for my channel, and then you'll get notified when I schedule it. But I guess that's pretty much everything for today. This is a quicker live. I did see that YouTube is like making it easier for small creators to like get those like special privileges and monetization. So I'm like very close, it turns out, literally just because you guys are so supportive. So thank you so much for that. I have been doing this activism and volunteering for a long time. So it's really cool to like kind of be pushed in this direction to do YouTube, encouraged by all of you and by amazing, iconic YouTubers like PJ and Alexa, who's such a strong activist. So I'm grateful to be on this journey with you for YouTube, and I'm hoping I can hit my first milestone soon. That'll be very exciting. So let's see. I feel like that's good for today. I love you guys so much. Everything is possible when we work together and align and just do like one thing at a time. That's something I've learned from the Be Army movement, just how powerful we are when we come together and like sync up. So I recognize how powerful a platform like this can be. And so thank you guys so much for making it powerful, for being the power behind this change that we want to see in this world. I love you. You're iconic too. You're iconic, Alex. I love you. We're iconic together. Iconic fan base. That was his one opportunity to save face. Yeah, Justin Timberlake was one opportunity to save face last night. I know, but he hasn't even apologized since after the book came out. Like he made that one like weird PR apology back in like 2021 when Free Britney was like all over the media, so it was like kind of hard to ignore. And I feel like it was written by his like press or something, or his PR team. So I was really upset because I didn't even like know when I like woke up today. I was like, oh, I didn't realize he had said that last night. But I can't like, ew, ew. It's giving like base nectar, like talking about like how he creates culture and like it's just not it. It's not it for me. It's giving predator. It's giving enabler. Okay, I'm gonna say goodbye with Steve also. Like the video in order to, let's see, I can't even like say in order to YouTube to suggest the video to others. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. Like my video. I will head out to catch me on Instagram. Maybe I'll like do some lives too where I just like work from my computer. I don't know if you guys are into that, but DM me and let me know what kind of lives you guys want to see, like other than my court reportings. I'm just curious as I dive into YouTube. So give me all your feedback. I love you guys so much. We're in this together. And now I'm going to figure out how to turn this live off. I think I just click end broadcast. So with that, bubblegum biters, I am out. I love you guys.